Most people waste their entire life on side hustles that sound smart, but yet magically make no money. They see AI plaster on something and suddenly think, well, here it is. This is the opportunity I've been waiting my whole life for. And honestly, I get it. AI has genuinely changed what's possible. It has made it easier than ever to build a profitable side hustle, but...
honestly, AI, I've been really leaning into Claude. I just want to say this, Claude Cowork has changed my life, and I wanted to give it some clout and some credit because Claude Cowork has literally revolutionized how I'm working, how I'm like doing my day-to-day tasks, the amount of free time I have. Oh my Jesus. Get a PC and get Claude Cowork, it will change your life.
Also created a lot of noise. You see, most people have no idea how to tell the good side hustles from the bad. They are obsessed with what sounds futuristic, not what actually makes money. The problem is that they think the money is in the AI itself. It's not. AI is just a tool. Exactly. The money is in using AI to create something that people are already paying for and using it to do it faster, cheaper, and at scale. Just like the internet, you don't make money with the internet. The internet is just the infrastructure. So, in today's video, I am ranking 17 side hustles from S tier to absolute dog shit. So that way, you know which ones, quite frankly, are just a waste of your time. All right, so side hustle number 1, AI trading bots. This is where people get sold the dream that a bot will magically do all of the hard work and generate money for them. It's the class.
I've always told people this is so stupid because you can automate a lot of things. Trading is not one of them. Trading is one of those things you literally cannot go off like prediction. You have to go off based off what you see and your data, and it's so much that you got to go off. And you can't really teach an AI trading bot your trading routine and how your sequence and how you want to. It's a lot that goes into it. I always recommend not to do that.
Classic, this bot will print money bullshit. It is complete nonsense. Look, yeah, sure, it might sound good on paper to people who don't understand the risk, but look, quite frankly, it's just gambling with a little bit of branding on top. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. If you do not understand the market, the rules, the downside, well then you're not building a side hustle. You're just burning money. So if you want to throw your money down the drain, congratulations, do this one. The risk is very high with this one. This whole thing is just a trap for beginners. So quite frankly, I'm putting this in F tier. And that brings us on to side hustle number 2. AI UGC. With this one, you're gonna create content for brands using AI. Businesses pay for this because it's tied directly to performance. If the content helps them sell more, well then they'll keep paying you to create this type of content for them. The problem is, if it doesn't feel authentic or if the content doesn't perform, well then you have a problem on your hands. And with that problem, you're gonna struggle to make money with this. Now look, there is demand, but this whole thing lives or dies on the content and how authentic it feels, as well as how...
I feel like just because I'm using Higgsfield now, generating pictures is very cheap. Now generating videos is gonna be a little more expensive. It's not gonna be super expensive because if you're just generating like a 5-10 second video, it's not gonna be super bad, or 15-30 seconds, not gonna be really bad. But it does definitely ride her down the content. That's why I'm personally thinking about just making a whole Instagram page dedicated to an AI model and posting on there instead of just having her post content only. Well, not content, we as content only.
Outperform. So because of that, I'm gonna have to put it in C tier. Now moving on, let's talk about AI clipping. This one I'm seeing everywhere. With this, you're gonna turn long form content into shorts, reels, and clips, and you're gonna do that using AI. Now, I'll be honest, there's actually real demand here. It's easy to explain and it's easy to sell to creators and businesses who already know that they need more distribution. The only issue is everyone and their mom seems to be doing it, which means the market is getting crowded fast. And once again, if your clips don't perform, you become replaceable very, very quickly. Now look, because there's clear demand, but very little differentiation.
Also, I do want to touch in on this as well. AI clip is kind of tricky too, because you can't teach an AI to get the most viral moments. I've tried to use AI for clipping, and sometimes it works, not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it does come up with some good clips, sometimes it doesn't. You know what you want to see. And clipping, it doesn't put the story together. It only puts the most interesting part that it seems, basically when you're loud or you're giving the most energy. So it's kind of hard to tell it what to do.
I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. So just a quick note before we move on, if you don't from quickly, so give what you fear. Source, research, next one to check if you won. So let's talk about AI dropshipping. You're gonna use AI to help you source, research, and sell products. I mean, literally just drop shipping, but with AI layered on top to really speed up some of the process. The upside is the exact same as regular drop shipping. You have low inventory risk, and it's relatively straightforward to test products without too much upfront commitment, but a lot of times you're gonna have to spend money on ads, which is what gives me anxiety for beginners. And that's really why the core problems never change, because drop shipping really is a race to the bottom, and AI still doesn't fix the problems with this model, which is really bad margins and a lot of cost to actually test products. So look, because this is an actual legitimate business model, it's not a gimmick, but the cost of testing products is just too much. And I've just seen way too many beginners get burned with this. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in C tier. And that brings us on to side hustle number 5, which is AI voice agents. You're actually gonna go ahead and build AI phone agents that can actually handle calls and bookings for businesses. And you can imagine why this is valuable, right? Because it saves businesses time, and quite frankly, time is money. If the agent can answer calls, book in appointments, as well as sometimes even go as far as to handle basic objections, well then, of course, that's something that businesses will pay for. The setup though is not easy, and businesses get really impatient if it becomes clunky, robotic, or breaks their customer experience. Now, if I go ahead and summarize this entire side hustle, because the value is real, but the execution is more complex than most people actually assume going into it, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. All right, moving on, number 6, AI lead generation. Quite simply, this is where you're gonna use AI to help businesses find and qualify leads. Let's talk about the big benefit here. This is directly tied to revenue, and that's why businesses will always need this. So the demand is there, okay? If you can put qualified prospects in front of a business, you can make money. It's plain and simple. With this one, you're not really selling a nice to have. You are selling something that businesses need, okay? Something that drives revenue. So the value is there. The only downside is that if your data or targeting is bad, well then unfortunately that means your leads are gonna be bad and the whole thing falls apart. So
I mean, that's really how everything is. Everything will fall apart if your technicals are bad, because AI, like you said, is a tool that you use. It's not something that you just say, hey, I need $1,000 by tomorrow, do something. That's not how AI works. You have to have a plan, and AI just helps make the plan easier and helps automate everything so you can do less work and focus on other things. So, for example, if I want to schedule a TikTok page, I can tell AI to do that, opposed to me doing it for a client. Now I have more time to do different things with my day instead of just focusing on that. So I feel like that's with everything. But AI lead generation is something I've been doing with my branding. I've been doing sending a lot of emails to a lot of brands, just use AI.
100% dependent on that. So if I had to score it, because it connects straight to revenue and it solves a real business problem, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put it in A tier. All right, let's talk about AI chatbots. With this one, you are gonna go ahead and build support or sales bots for businesses. Once again, the appeal is very obvious with this one. It saves businesses time, it handles repetitive questions, and it can actually take a lot of pressure off of the team from a business point of perspective. But unfortunately, a lot of these chatbots are just very gimmicky and it's pretending to be a business. So to summarize, because there is utility, but unfortunately a lot of it is overhyped and really easy to commoditize in today's day and age, and it doesn't have that same excitement factor as the voice agents, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put this in C tier. Moving on, let's talk about an interesting one, and that's actually AI ghostwriting. With this, you're gonna use AI to help founders, creators, and experts to write newsletters, posts, emails, scripts, whatever it may be. And this can actually be highly valuable if you can match the founder's voice and strategy. Now, when you do this properly, it can actually turn into strong recurring revenue, because good operators don't want one-off content. They usually want to commit to this for a long period of time, but you also need to be consistent with it to benefit from the recurring potential of this side hustle. Look, to be honest, if you're just churning out content with no thinking behind it, clients can smell that from a mile away. And the second they feel that, you become replaceable. I'm actually quite conflicted on this one, because it can go really well when you dial in the voice and the strategy, or it can go really bad when it just turns into AI slop. So because of that, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put it in B tier. All right, moving on to number 9, and that is AI websites. So with this, it's pretty easy to understand. It just involves building websites faster for businesses that need an online presence. Now, the mistake that most people make is they sell pretty pages instead of outcomes, okay? And the second you just sell a nice looking website instead of what that website can do for the business, well, then you immediately become commoditized. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put this in B tier. All right, and that brings us on to number 10, AI digital products. So with this, very simple, you're gonna use AI to create ebooks, templates, guides, or courses that help people solve real problems. This is high leverage. It's scalable, and it can be done completely faceless.
It can be done completely faceless, and there's no limit to how many ebooks you can make. So you can make an ebook every week and sell a different ebook every week and make money off of it. And if you sell it, you're making full profit. So if I sell it for $5, making $5. especially if I don't cash out. If I cash out instantly, I might make it around like 3, 4. But if I wait and like have it ACH to my bank account, get a direct deposit, making around pretty much $5. So if you keeping all profits. So I always feel like digital products are better than drop shipping, because with drop shipping, if a product's $50, I gotta sell it for at least $60, $70, and so I'm only making $10 per. And it does help out in the long term, but like you have to sell way more to make more profit. With this, I'm just selling, and I can sell it for 15, 20. If it value there, I can sell it for 100, 200, 300, 400. It just depends on what's going on.
Also very beginner friendly, which is something I value highly. Now, when we talk about the flaws, the model only works if the problem that you're solving has enough demand. So if the pain is small, the product revenue might also be small. But then again, I guess that's not really a model problem. That's just a general business problem. But what I love about this model is just like when you have a winner, how crazy and scalable the business becomes. And I also want to make it clear, I'm co-owner at a company called WAP, which is a digital product platform. And I've also been involved in the space for a decade. So I do want to say I have some bias towards this. But all in all, I've seen people make crazy money as a side hustle all the way into the millions and millions of dollars, which is why for me, because of the scalability of this business model, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in S tier. All right, moving on, side hustle 11, AI apps. Now with this side hustle, you're actually gonna use AI to create software apps faster. And the way you're gonna do that is by reducing coding and product building time. We live in a cool world where this is actually possible. And there's actually good upside here if the app actually solves a real problem and people keep paying to use it. The issue is that most beginners confuse building an app with building a business, and that is a very expensive mistake. An app is just a product. The business is distribution, retention, and monetization. Now, because the upside is big, but the execution and then managing churn and just the general business model is very tricky as someone who's in it myself, I'm gonna go ahead and put this one in B.
Because making an AI app can be very lucrative, but it's all about having a plan behind it. Like you need, first of all, you need someone that's gonna be even interested in using it and or purchasing it, and then you also have to have a use case. It's a lot that goes into it. So a lot of these things are very profitable, but a lot of people look at things of, oh, how can I make money right now? A lot of things you aren't going to make money with right now, but you can make money within a month, within 2 months, within a few weeks. Like, things are possible. You just have to be patient.
Here. All right, moving on. This is actually a blast from the past for me. This is AI meme pages. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna grow meme pages using AI generated or AI assisted content, and then actually monetizing later through brand deals or paid shout outs or even affiliate, stuff like that. And the reason I say this is a blast from the past is this was actually probably my first, if not one of my first side hustles. When I was 14 years old, I actually had my own Instagram accounts where I was doing this. Now, they weren't meme pages, they were branded pages, and they were all like sort of motivational luxury lifestyle pages. And back then I also didn't have AI to help me. And that opens up a lot of opportunities, okay? Now with AI, it is cheap to start. And if the content is genuinely good, it can grow. Attention is fickle, and the content being good is a big if, okay? Most pages never actually amount to any money. So because it's easy to start, but also really difficult to turn into a serious business, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in D tier. All right, moving on, AI faceless YouTube channels. With this, you're gonna use AI to script, voice, and produce videos without ever showing your face. It's scalable, you don't need to show your face or build a personal brand, which of course makes it very appealing for people who want leverage without having to be the product. The problem with this is that it's very slow to monetize, and most people...
Honestly, it is slow to monetize, but it depends on your niche. A lot of niches are super easy to monetize, but if your niche is boring or if it doesn't have a big market, it definitely is gonna be harder to monetize than most things. But I always say, you don't want to just focus on long form content, you want to focus on shorts as well. That's how you're gonna get the most bang for your buck with this.
Quit before they make any money here. The grind looks simple from the outside, but the patience requirements, most people unfortunately just can't handle it. So if I had to summarize it, because the model has some leverage, but the timeline is just too long and most people don't stay in it long enough to see results, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go ahead and put this in C tier. All right, moving on, AI video editing. Very simple. You're gonna use AI tools to cut, edit, and repurpose videos for creators and brands. The demand exists, it's fast to deliver, and it is relatively easy to productize if you're efficient and you can get moving quickly. Issue is the barrier to entry is very low. So the market gets flooded with people offering the same copy paste BS. And because of that, clients are always gonna compare you based on price instead of value. And the issue with this is that it quickly becomes a race to the bottom. So because it's easy to sell, but it's also easy to copy, I'm gonna go ahead and have to put this in C tier. All right, number 15, AI print on demand. Very simple, you are gonna use AI to generate designs and then you're gonna sell them on shirts, on mugs, on posters, stuff like that. Once again, it's very low upfront cost and it is simple to test. So it looks attractive to beginners who want to get started fast. The problem is with this one, you have no moat, the competition is brutal, and most stores die in the first few weeks or months. So
exactly, and you do need to put more. I feel like you need to put more ads, or yeah, more paid ads into this than you would into dropshipping, because people got to see your content. Like, okay, at least with dropshipping, I can start a niche page and I can post similar content to what I'm dropshipping, and you know it'll kind of grow like that. And I've seen people literally grow and get money off of it. I've seen it, done it. Have people like coach people to do that. This is more difficult because there's no real niche for it. Like, you got AI to make a shirt for you. Okay, I can have AI make the design, make the Shopify, add Printful to the Shopify and post it, but now I have to get people on my site and make people want to buy my stuff, and that's still the hardest part.
To summarize, it's easy to launch, but it's hard to build it into anything durable. I'd say really this one is more of a gimmick than anything. I will put it in F tier, don't waste your time. Definitely. Now let's move on to something that is not a gimmick, but also has some of its own downsides, I guess, like every model, and that is AI automation agency. Simple concept, this is where you're gonna build systems that replace boring, repetitive work for businesses. Once again, the demand is there, okay? And there's a real high ticket potential if you're solving problems that actually save time, make things more efficient, and reduce the need for businesses to hire more people. Where the downsides come in is that delivery can get messy and you will need some operational skill, because once you start playing with internal systems, things can get tricky. So to summarize, the need is real and the upside is there, but the execution can get tricky at times. Nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in A tier. All right, and that brings us on to number 17, and this is AI prompts. Very simple, you're gonna sell prompt bundles for different use cases. It's easy to create and it's easy to package. So on the surface, it looks like a solid side hustle, but look, there's no moat, the perceived value is low, and most of it is just AI slop if we're being entirely honest.
Yeah, you have to be like very, very particular with the prompts that you're doing and actually make prompts that are going to sell. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of influencers that I see make content and they sell prompts or make content and they give out, there's a lot of people, but it's very competitive. You have to be very situational with your prompts. Like, it has to be for a specific type of person. Like, I can't sell prompts meant for sports to people that are trying to make money, you know? So it has to be, it's a small box. It's like being a big fish in a small pond. That's how I would equate it to. But honestly, all in all, he's had a lot of good. They usually don't stay to the last part of his videos. He's had a lot of good quotes, a lot of good takes, a lot of good advice, and honestly, all of his rankings were pretty accurate. You got to give a big shout out to him for creating WAP as well. I use WAP personally, and I love the video. I can't wait to react to more.